Mr. Minnick here, helping you with some exercises off of Math Methods Worksheet number 1. There are a lot of methods that are built into Visual Basic that can be used with something called the math class. Anyway, the way that you would type out or use this method would be maybe you would have a variable dim num as integer equals 0, and then somewhere else in that private sub n sub method you would need to you would need to find the square root of that variable. So you could write something like messagebox.show parentheses, and then you would type math.sqrt parentheses num, and that would cause a message box to pop up with the square root of whatever num is. To make it more interesting, instead of 0, let's pretend that your number num is 16. So the square root of 16 we all know is 4, and this code here would cause 4 to pop up in your message box. Of course, you could do things that are more interesting with square roots than just show them in a message box. So you'll later learn how to apply and use math methods in more interesting situations. So let's do a couple of these exercises just to make sure that you know what these various methods do. ABS stands for absolute value, and that works just like straight lines do in math class. The absolute value of -9, of course, is 9. So in this case, the absolute value of -9 is 9. POW. POW raises a number to an exponent. The first number, the first parameter, is the base. The second parameter is the exponent. So this is, of course, is equivalent to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Don't bang the door. And that works out to be, well, whatever that works out to be, you fill in the answer. 2 to the 5th power. We've already discussed SQRT. The round function rounds a number to the nearest whole number. There's something called banker's rounding that's built into Visual Basic. That makes it tricky when you have something that ends with that rounds with 0.5. 2.5 actually rounds to 2 and not 3, whereas 3.5 rounds up to 4. You can see my lecture notes or any internet resource to explain that odd behavior when you have a number that ends with 0.5. But in this case, it's very clear. 2.3 does not round up in any situation, so the answer is 2. 2.6, always 0.6 rounds the whole number up, so that would be a 3. The max function takes whatever two numbers you have in the parentheses and determines which number is the bigger number. So the answer there is 8. 8 is the max of those two numbers. You cannot do max 7, 8, 9. In other words, you can't put 3 numbers in the parentheses. It only works with 2 numbers at a time. Min does the same thing that max does, just takes the smallest number. Floor. The floor method always chops off the decimal places of the number that's in the parentheses as the parameter. So the answer there is just plain 3. The ceiling method always bumps the number up. It does more than just rounding. It bumps 8.01 up to 9 because 9 is the next biggest whole number. Oddly enough, -2.1, if you look at where -2 is on the number line, and if you look at where -2.1 would be, because the ceiling function always moves you to the right on the number line, the ceiling of -2.1 is -2. It does not go to -3. Round, we've already discussed. Scrolling down here, you must follow the order of operations, so let's just do 1 or 2 of these. Let's look at number 16. You would work from inside the parentheses out. So first you must evaluate what's the max of 51, 53. Well, 53. 53 is the bigger number there. So all of that just simplifies to 53. Now I'm left with math.max, parentheses 52, 53, end of parenthesis. Well, 53 again is the bigger number between it and 52, so the final answer is simply 53. You simply work from inside the parentheses out when you execute methods that are nested inside of methods like this. You can look these up in our lecture notes. I'm not going to give you the answers in this video. What does the method log10 do? And what does the method log10 do in that situation?